In this video, I'll be checking out a new dash cam from Redtiger. This is the F77 4K dual dash cam recorder. It features a Sony Starvis 2 sensor, 4K in the front and 4K in the back recording, voice control, 5.8 GHz Wi-Fi 6 transfer to your mobile phone, and many more. So there's a lot to like with this dash camera. Let's check out what comes inside the box. Okay, so here's what you get inside the box. You get a quick start guide and a fully fledged user manual there. You get the F77 front facing camera as well as the rear facing camera. You get a very long, fairly thick actually, USB-C to C cable to attach the front camera to the rear view camera. There is a USB-C to 12 volt adapter to power the front facing camera. Alternatively, you can go for a USB-C to USB. It obviously isn't long enough to reach most, but it is mainly used for data transfer. You also get a spare mounting pad to the windscreen along with an adhesive pre-attached. You get 2 additional adhesives to the mini and the main camera. You get some cable management clips for the interior, and you get 4 adhesive stickers for the windscreen for easy installation. Right, looking over the F77 main dash camera then, it's quite a chunky thing. It's quite a big chunk of screen, chunk of plastic. It's quite thick there. Got a very small mounting plate though, which is good, I guess. It's not going to stick to the windscreen without too much, but it's got a good weight to it. So there's a lot of pressure on that adhesive pad. We've got the main camera at the front here, and you've also got a GPS and what looks like a kind of speaker or internal microphone at the front there. We've got the Redtiger branding, quite small, quite discreet, and this camera is sort of protruding quite far out from the main body. On this side, we've got nothing other than some information and stamps. On this end, we've got the recording start-stop function. You can hold that down for other functionalities as well. And you've got a SIM card slot, and there is a reset switch on the side there as well. Up top, we've got the sort of power end of the dash camera. You've got a rear port there to power the rear view camera. And you also got the main power to power the front facing camera as well. Now this comes with the adapter pre-attached. That just literally slides off like that. So you can get that attached to your windscreen, and the whole entire thing clicks into place and actually is nice and secure. On the very, very bottom end here, we've got 4 function buttons. We've got a menu and backwards and forwards buttons, and then an OK button as well. Lots of grills, holes, so lots of cooling. Should this feature in a car interior, you're in a hot climate or a hot environment, hopefully it should cater for that. Nice big screen here, and obviously that's going to interact with these buttons here at the bottom too. Switching over to the rear view camera, it's like a little mini child of this parent one, basically. Obviously, it doesn't need to be that big either. And obviously, the smaller it can be, the more discreet it can be at the back of your car. We've got a smaller adhesive pad here, again, with some adjustment. And again, this can be slid off and reattached afterwards, should you need to replace or easy installation of the camera. On one side, we've got a USB Type-C socket there to power the camera. Nothing on the other side. See that this camera module here does really protrude out from the main body, and you've got lots of ventilation holes again to keep the whole thing cool once it's operating. Okay, let's get this plugged in on some temporary power so we can just quickly check out its menu interface. Right, we've got it connected to a battery there, and this whole thing is now fired up. So let's reveal the screen. We've got some touch interface here. You've obviously got the buttons here too, should you need to use that. Obviously it's beeping with every single interaction. Lots of detail here on the actual screen itself of the various functionalities. They all disappear, letting us know just that we've got recording underway. Tapping the screen will get us to the various status indicator lights. You've got navigation, GPS being picked up, microphone and audio, and you've also got Wi-Fi hotspot, which is currently disabled at the moment. You've got voice activity on at the moment. 4K, current battery levels. You can't really tap these. You can turn the Wi-Fi on if you wanted to by tapping the icon. So that's good. Can't really tap any other sections, just Wi-Fi. Up here, not much else here, and that's pretty much it. You've got the buttons corresponding to the 4 options at the bottom here. So you've got menu, and then here we've got playback, I assume, and current video playing. Let's jump back in the menu there. Settings, got plenty of settings there to choose from. From setting the resolution, it's 4K 30, down to 2.5K 60 and 2.5K 30. Whether you want sound recording on or off, loop recording times, 1 minute, 3 minutes, and 5 minutes. G sensor sensitivity, so when it detects a crash or a nudge in the car for parking, for example. You can have fatigue reminders. That's just your Wi-Fi again and what band it's going to use, up to 5G. We'll take this click tone off because that's annoying. Screensaver, that's basically when this display is going to turn off after a certain period of time. You can set that up to 2 minutes. Voice control, and you can tell things like locking the phone, take a picture, turn on the Wi-Fi, turn off the Wi-Fi, turn on recording, turn on audio, turn on and off the screen, and show front or rear facing cameras just with your voice. And then you've got mirroring, flip mirroring, which is quite handy if you're mounting the camera upside down, for example. And also you've got camera flip as well for the rear. Parking mode, if you attach the camera to a fuse board in the car, then that's going to open that functionality. GPS, and the satellites that it would be connected to, date and time, speed. You can have the speed captured on the video as well, which could be handy for any claims. GPS stamp on the screen as well, captured in the video, and whether you want kilometers an hour or miles an hour. Changing the language between these countries. So that's good. Setting the clock, which we'll do in a minute. Time style 24 to 48 hours. Then you've got time zones, DST, changing the hertz between 50 and 60 for flicker. Format the card. You can change it to format reminders as well. Card speed, that was going to give you a readout to make sure that is quick enough for 4K recording. You can reset all your settings, connect up the app, view the product information, and get help. It's probably going to be a QR code, most likely. Yeah. So for the app, we're going to scan that and get the app sorted as well. So we're going to scan this code, which is going to take us probably to the App Store, and it's basically the Redtiger app. So from here, we'll basically connect to the camera, and then from there, we can actually then view all the data from the camera footage, and as well as most likely you'll be able to change settings in the app as well and send that to the camera as well, which is probably going to be a little bit more intuitive than using the menu on the actual camera. Okay, so that's a brief look over the display itself on the camera. Let's jump in the car, get this mounted up, and see how well this camera performs. So I'll see you there. Right, so we're in the Cooper Born, and we've got the F77 dash cam here. They've got the front-facing camera, and then you've got the rear-facing camera here as well. We're going to get this plugged into the front and also at the back. So let's get started. First things first, I'm going to connect up a power bank to this first front-facing camera, just so I can actually view from the viewfinder and get the right installation on the windscreen here at the front. Right, so I found my location, going to put it up here. We're going to use one of these adhesive transfers to make it easy to remove the camera afterwards. It's quite a big surface area considering the actual mounting bracket is quite small, and in a way it does get in the way of the lens because the mounting arm is too small. So what I would possibly even recommend is to shave a quarter off that sticker so it's not so wide and in the way of the lens when you mount it. So I'm going to mount it right on the edge of that transfer so it doesn't really get in the way. So do make sure that you got the horizontal right, because there's no horizontal adjustment on the actual mount itself. So just align that up properly with the lens and yeah, stick it down in place like so. Push on that for about 10 seconds. And that camera's now basically able to be rotated slightly. But the main limit for me will be the cable that I'm using. It don't supply a USB right-angled cable for power. And for people like with me, I haven't got a 12-volt adapter, I have to use a right-angle adapter to get that camera as low as I can. But I'm just barely getting by there with the camera sticking out at the top there. So that's the camera now installed. I'm going to go into the app now and get it all set up. So I just got to connect to the Wi-Fi first, turning on the Wi-Fi on the actual display. Now I'm connected to Wi-Fi, and then launch up the Redtiger app. add a camera. It's already connected to it because I'm connected to it over Wi-Fi. That's the camera now connected. You can see here that it's all live. And you can see the speedometer at the bottom there, ready to get all the GPS to the actual app itself. So you can actually restore the GPS record data whilst you're traveling as well, which is really cool. I'd say the quality of the front looks great. I'm very happy with that. Next, I'm going to use this giant long USB-C to C cable with a rear facing camera and then get this plugged in to the back of the car. And again, you're going to have to slide it to the right. So do bear in mind, don't mount it too close to the rear view mirror. And I don't know if I can actually get this out. No, I can't. Okay. So bear that in mind. It's not really suited for right-hand drive or left-hand side use of the camera. I'm going to plug that in at the top rear view cable. We're going to feed this cable over the rear view mirror, over the front, over the handle, and then we're going to feed it to the back of the car. Right, so in the back we've got the excess cable. There's still plenty. I'd say if you wanted to do a very discreet install, I've got another nearly 3 meters left of this cable to get to the back here. So if you've got a saloon pickup or something, or you want to do around the windscreen a lot more, I think you've definitely got enough cable there to reach to the back of the car. I'm going to coil up the slack and also get this plugged into the camera here, which just attaches to the left hand side. Bear in mind it's going to be upside down, so I think for neatness we're going to angle that cable upwards and get that plugged into the camera there. So now that's plugged in. So I've connected to the Wi-Fi of the camera now. Unfortunately you can't quite see everything. You can toggle between modes here. There you go, that's full screen in rear view mode. So obviously you've got a small amount of room here before the top of the dash and the bottom of the dash. We've got a very small windscreen here. I'll probably do it dead center just so you get a better camera view. You can use another sticker here if you wanted to. I'm not going to. I'm just going to connect it straight to the adhesive onto the end of this screen here after looking at the horizontal alignment and then mounting it onto the glass here. So let's do that. Give it a bit of a polish. Get rid of any of that dust and dirt, and also that cable sticking out the top there is also getting in the way of the glass a bit. So I'm going to try going below instead, and so it's not going to be in the way of the glass at the top there. I'm going to switch camera again. So I want the most I can view out of this. That's as deep as I can make it, so I've got to come down a bit and I'm just going to line it up the camera to the center of the screen. So let's fully commit. We'll line it up with that and then hold on there for about 10 seconds, and that's the camera all attached. So what you want to do with this is up to you. I'm just going to leave it there for now. It's not really getting in the way, and obviously you've got to do a much better install, aren't you? So that's the rear camera now installed at the back here. Let's take it for a spin and see how it all performs in the night and also in the day. Right, so I've spent some time with the F77 on some daytime and nighttime recording. As you've seen earlier, it's got some really good quality both in daytime and nighttime recording, at least on the front facing camera. I found the rear facing camera a little bit lacking in detail, but potentially that could be caused by the rear tint of my rear window. But still, its rear and front facing camera offer some really good quality dashcam footage. And I think if Redtiger offered a polarizing lens for its front camera, it would definitely get rid of some of that dashboard glare if you have a dashboard that's quite light in color or has some particular features. It does pick it up quite a lot, but if you were to mount this camera a little bit closer to the glass, then that might become less of an issue. But its 4K footage was clean and sharp. Obviously you're seeing it scaled down in this video to 1080p, which might be why you're seeing some of the jagged lines in its quality. But its colors were natural, its contrast or wide dynamic range from the Sony Starvis 2 sensor offers really good quality, and it all comes across very naturally. At low speed, I was able to capture the number plates on the front and rear facing camera very well, but as soon as that speed increases, it gets a little bit more difficult to see the number plates in general, but that's normally the case with most dash cams anyway. However, opting for a 2.5K 60 FPS, that might also improve that ability as well, with more frames to capture that number plate as it's passing by. But its rear facing camera is a bit of a game changer for this F77. Not only do you get sharper visuals, but that Sony IMX678 sensor that's inside is doing a lot of heavy lifting and gives you great performance, at least in the daytime recordings, and a little bit better than most dash cams in the rear at night time as well. Playing back the footage was very easy. Everything's going to be stored on that internal memory, so you will need to connect your phone in order to get that content off the camera. I found it very awkward to copy that content to the TF card. It was much easier just to connect my phone over Wi-Fi and transfer the video files that way. By doing so, with its fast Wi-Fi connection, was very, very easy and very quick. So there's a lot to download for a 5-minute clip, but you can reduce that to smaller amounts. I think it's roughly about 300 megabytes per 1 minute of 4K footage for front and rear footage. But generally, found it very easy to get it across the app and then save it onto your camera roll or share it through an app using the share sheet on iOS at least. So the F77 from Redtiger currently retails for $359.99. You can also get it from their Amazon store a lot cheaper. And I've currently seen it for around about $256.28 from their store in the US. I'll put links down below so you can learn more about this particular camera, support the channel and buy yourself one. Generally a great performing dash camera for your car. It's definitely not cheap when you consider it to its competition. However, there are lots of features in this camera which obviously does increase its value. You've got the double 4K camera support where most cameras are going to be a lot lower quality. You have that built-in 128GB of internal memory, so you won't have to buy an additional SD card for around about $40 to $50. And obviously that memory is definitely a lot quicker as well than most TF cards are going to be reading and writing from. So you're going to get better captured footage that way too. And it's a little bit more reliable. It has that improved Wi-Fi connectivity, so it's going to be a lot quicker than most dash cameras to get that content from your phone. And I saw that when I transferred all the video files from my phone very quickly. But with that said, I would have a few things changed on this camera. I like to have its polarizing lens, or at least an option to fit it onto the camera to reduce that kind of glare from the windscreen. I like to have a right-angled USB-C cable because I had to use that instead of the 12-volt one, which does come with a right-angled cable, and maybe something a little bit longer as well to cater for that kind of installation. But then I guess you've got that fuse board hardwire kit, which might have helped in this particular situation should I wanted to keep this on my windscreen. It was sad to see not all the settings were captured in the mobile app side of it. You had to go through the display in order to change that, but thanks for the touch screen display, that was a lot more easier than most dash cams that only offer it through the function buttons at the bottom. Now, because it's touchscreen display, I think they could have done away with these buttons and made the thing a little bit cheaper, or use these functions at least for shortcuts that you could set yourself in the app. That would be quite a handy feature as well. Also, I'd like to have seen this camera fit with an internal battery, so you could use it for park monitoring without having to use the fuse board for intermittent recording, for example, or using a sensor to trigger some recording. That would have been nice especially when this camera is quite chunky. You could probably fit a battery in there too without causing too much extra weight or size to the camera. And they could have supplied this camera without a rear facing option to reduce that price a little bit more and make it a little bit more accessible. But with all those small little niggles, they are small little niggles and small little desirable features, this is a very good camera. That's definitely worth considering if you are looking for a 4K front and rear facing dashboard camera. It's just unfortunate that you had to dig a little bit deeper to afford its quite high cost of ownership. All right, that's it. I hope you found this video helpful. If it has, give us a big thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions about the F77 from Redtiger, and I'll try my best to answer them. If you like this content, please consider subscribing, and if you'd like to support me, you can do so by using the super thanks button down below on YouTube, or check out my link in the description to buy me a coffee, and you can support me there too. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Bye.